Morning, and it's a pretty morning. We've got a look right here.
Yeah. That's downtown Elkhart there, and streets are dry, so that's good. We expect them to stay dry, maybe not through the afternoon, but at least for this morning, so that's good.
Right.
Hey, a quick shout out to my good friend and colleague Tricia Sloma, who received the Knute Rockne Spirit of Sports Award yesterday for her wonderful series that she did on the history of Notre Dame football, the last 100 years, since 1925, our first national title, but also on, just the history of the Rockne family, and, some of whom were there yesterday. Great time over at the History Museum in South Bend, but congratulations to Tricia. She worked so hard. For a Buckeye, to do a story like that on Notre Dame football, but very, very richly deserved, and it was just a wonderful ceremony yesterday.
Yeah, she worked months on that package. It's good to see the fruits of her labor paying off.
Absolutely, and to be there at the same, where they're giving awards to Digger Phelps, living legend, of course, Bryant Young. I mean, all these people who were there yesterday, just some outstanding names.
Absolutely.
But it was nice to see Tricia get honored for that.
Yes, our South Bend legend.
Absolutely. Speaking of legendary, the Purdue Boilermakers have the world's largest drum, don't they?
But it's not coming in Notre Dame Stadium.
Yeah, there's an issue with that. Let's take a look at a little poetry this morning. What we, of course, like to call the weather could be verse. A battle for world records has left the Boilers disgruntled. They may have the world's biggest drum, but we have the world's smallest tunnel. Yeah, see, they can't get it through. So, you would think with these engineers, they'd be able to figure something out. Take the wheels off, I don't know. But anyway, it's a tiny tunnel, and that drum is so big, it cannot fit through the visitors' tunnel. So it looks like, once again, as it was in 2021, they're not going to be able to bring the drum into the stadium. We'll see. Who knows? Those engineers are pretty crazy. They might think of something. But there you can see it. Of course, this is the north tunnel here. This is where the home team runs out, and of course, it's huge. But the visitors' tunnel over here goes through, and it's just a tiny little thing for the visiting team to come out. That changed, of course, about it was about 5 years ago, something like that. So it's, really the second time that they would have had that issue. 64 degrees currently right now, east wind at 6 miles an hour. And as we take a look at the Blue Chip Casino, you can see that lovely sunshine now rising above the horizon at 61 degrees over at the Blue Chip. And as we take a look north, St. Joe and Benton Harbor checking in. Boy, it's beautiful up there. A lot of the boats have been out. This sort of late summer weather really has been conducive to get out there. 62 degrees right now. Not much wave action out there because these winds have been very, very light. And what little wind there is, at least up there, is from east to west, so it's blowing offshore, not creating much in the way of any waves out there. Our live radar right now from First Alert, you can see the clouds that are over Michiana. Currently, it's dry in South Bend, but they've been seeing some light rain showers over toward Rensselaer and trending up toward the Valparaiso area. None of this is very heavy duty, but you can see a couple of indications of lightning in there, so there might be a rumble of thunder with some of these little tiny pop-up storms. We don't expect any of those to be through South Bend this morning, but by this afternoon, things could change quite a bit because you can see the size of this enormous system out here. This is a big area of low pressure that will eventually settle in to the Midwest somewhere, and if it becomes cut off, well, some strange things can happen. We'll get a look at that in just a second, but first here's the kickoff forecast for Notre Dame and Purdue this afternoon. Remember, it's a 3:30 kickoff right here on NBC. It'll be about 75 degrees as you're out there tailgating in the late morning, early afternoon. By kickoff, it'll be about 83 degrees. Halftime, probably 78 to 79 degrees, and then by the end of the game, dropping into the high 60s. But you do notice there's this 40% chance of a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, so do go prepared. Take some rain gear along with you just in case. And this is what we're talking about with this cutoff area of low pressure next week as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. This area of low pressure settles in. We don't know the exact location of it yet. Now, this is just one projection. If it settles a little to the east, that changes our weather. If it settles a little to the west, that also changes it. But right now, it would be bringing warm, moist air up from the Gulf of Mexico, creating day after day of at least the possibility of some rain showers. It won't be a total washout every day, but we do have some good rain chances that will break the back of this long extended drought that we've been in. So you can see over the next several days, 30 to 40% chances of rain all across the board. So that means we're definitely going to get some. And as we take a look at our future track rain amounts, this is projecting out several days now. You can see this runs through Thursday. So we might pick up a 1/16 of an inch today. By tomorrow, it'll total about a 1/2 an inch and then about 3/4 of an inch by the time we're all said and done. But look at Fort Wayne. Some places where you get under some of these rain bands could pick up as much as 1 inch to 2 inches of rain over the next several days. So as we take a look at future track, you can see this morning staying relatively dry. But as we get into the game time hours, it kicks off at 3:30. Some pop-up thunderstorms begin to form. Some of those come through as we get toward the end of the game, so do be prepared. Make sure you take some rain gear along with you, and then you can kind of see over the next several days how that pattern just continues to throw rain in our direction, and that'll continue over the next 5-6 days. As you can see, these temperatures backing off from the 80s, dropping into the mid-70s for a while. But today will be that last really warm day. It'll feel a little humid out there, and I do think you want to be prepared for a little bit of rain sometime during the game this afternoon.
Absolutely. Bring that poncho with you. No umbrellas in Notre Dame Stadium.
And no giant drum.
Not today, not today. Unless, like you said, engineering figures out some new way.
Figure out a way to get it through that little tunnel, but apparently that's what they got to do.
Right, and crazily, even though the game's later today, fans are already getting excited on all around Notre Dame's campus.